What's up, everybody? This is Robert Ferguson. How are you? Welcome to this amazing, well, what I hope to be amazing time together as we're going to talk about gut health. If you are new to the channel, if you're not on the YouTube channel, if you're on Facebook or somewhere else, I want to invite you to come over to YouTube and become a subscriber. So like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit the all button so that anytime we upload new videos or we go live, you'll get notified. And then it's up to you to watch it or listen to it at your convenience. Okay, now today I'm going to share with you what I have titled 5 must-do tips for gut health. Some of this information is going to be brand new. Now, if you are someone who would like to improve your gut health, then I would say listen to everything I'm going to share. If you're someone who's puffy, or maybe you're challenged right now with some you're not regular, if you know what I mean, or maybe you just feel somewhere inside you that you have some gut issues, this is for you. And if you're a proactive person, right, someone who wants to reduce the risk of negatives that can happen because of poor gut health, then this is for you. Other than that, I wrote an article. And I'm real big on that. I love to have articles because everything I share with you is substantiated, meaning that there are articles, there are studies, there are peer-reviewed papers that support everything that I share with you. And you don't even have to take notes. You can just scroll down, click on the link, go to the article. I make it where you can print it out, download it as a PDF, and you have it right there. If you have a gastroenterologist that you respect, or you want to take it to your physician, or you're a nutritionist, or you're a dietitian, or whoever you believe in, then print it out and share with them. And if they feel that I'm missing something, then bring it to my attention. I would love to be wrong. However, I don't think I am. So as a result of that, that's not being pompous. That's just coming with receipts. Now, if I am wrong, and that's why I say if I'm okay with that. That means that I'm then going to know the truth. I don't want to share misinformation. I'm not real quick to just do that. I'm someone who wants to make sure if you put it out there, let's make sure that it's accurate. You follow me? All right. So let's get into this. Okay. And again, take notes because your gut health is important. I mean, I think it's very important. I mean, people live their whole life not really knowing about gut health. And going back over 2,000 years ago, you know, you have Hippocrates was quoted for saying that all disease begins in the gut. And because of the gut-brain relationship connection, we're at a place now where science have caught up and is in full agreement. Now, let me preface before we go into the details of these 5 tips I'm going to give you. I'm going to share with you a quick story about a lady. Her name is Bonnie, and I talk about her in the article. So Bonnie is 63 years old, okay? We came together because Bonnie felt bloated. She felt puffy. She had gained some weight over the years. Her stomach felt uncomfortable. This is what she's reporting back. And she thought that her gut was off. Those were her words, okay? So she tried intermittent fasting. She felt that that was helping her a little bit. And this is before I started coaching her. She was eating, she said, I believe like 1 or 2 meals a day, if that. She felt that her bloating wasn't improving the way she thought it would, right? And this is when I came in. She saw me on Facebook. She reached out. We did a free consultation. And I got her to do 2 tests. We have an at-home test, 2 of them. You can hold them in your hand. They're that size. I wish I had them in front of me, but I don't. And she took the tests, and I think that was key. And then I have an 8-week fat loss challenge. And so she was like, you know what? Why don't I start there? I can learn the basics. And I was like, Sounds like a plan, because in the challenge, she'll learn what we call the diet-free life methodology, where you learn how to eat regular everyday foods, you pair them properly, and that'll help you not only feel better and improve overall health, but help you drop some body fat. So I felt like, okay, that's a great start. So the balance test that she got done, which kind of gives you insight to your inflammation scores. It gives you an idea of this thing called omega-6 to omega-3 ratios. So we got that done. And then the gut health test came in. And this is when it got fun, right? Because the results of the gut health test, and both tests are phenomenal. I mean, if you could afford both, 100% I would get both. But the gut health test showed that she was not eating enough protein. So I want you to hold on to that for a second. And I'm going to share these 5 tips. The gut health test revealed that she was not getting enough protein. Specifically, she wasn't eating enough of an amino acid, which is the building blocks of protein, called tryptophan. The test also said that she was low on tryptophan in this amino acid, and that she was not eating enough what we call prebiotic fiber. So you have dietary fiber that most of us have heard about, and there's something called prebiotics that come from fiber. So if you're eating fiber, then some of that fiber is going to give you prebiotics, and those prebiotics, which I'm about to share with you, contribute toward helping with your gut health. And as a result of that, many things improve dramatically. All right. So are you ready for this? And if you have questions, you guys, feel free to post and share. Let's see. Let's make this a little bigger. Boom. All right. So now let's go into the first tip. Okay. Now that's a lot to look at, and I know it can be a little confusing. Feel free to do screenshots if you want. But number one, when it comes to your gut health, you want to eat an adequate amount of protein to make sure you're getting tryptophan. Now, tryptophan, you may be thinking, hey, I've heard that before. Well, turkey is known for having a good amount of tryptophan in it. But you can also get it from many meats, chicken, meat, eggs, salmon. Like, so it's easy to get if you're not a vegan. If you're a vegan, you can still get it, just a little bit more work. Okay. Now tryptophan is one of those things that contributes toward serotonin production. Yes, serotonin that helps us sleep, serotonin that helps us feel good about ourselves, right? Melatonin. It's also big with as far as gut messengers. But not to get it confusing, remember what we learned from Bonnie was that Bonnie was skipping meals. She wasn't eating breakfast. She was doing intermittent fasting. So it didn't surprise me that Bonnie was not getting enough protein, because all of my clients that eat 3 meals a day, because we don't do intermittent fasting, when they do this test, we're always good when it comes to tryptophan. And tryptophan in the test, which I'm going to show you what that looks like, is the foundation, because it's called a tryptophan pathway, to making sure all the things that we're talking about today as far as gut health are being optimized. So if you don't get enough tryptophan, you're already starting off on the wrong foot. Okay. And her test, when it came in, showed that she was low. Now, there's a gentleman by the name of Dr. Don Layman. He shows that eating enough protein at each meal protects your muscle, benefits your gut, but it protects your muscle, which is a primary predictor of how fast you age, as well as a component to all-cause mortality. So people who are fasting, I'm not here to beat you up, but get the test done so you can see. Don't take my opinion for it. You'll see that you're not getting enough protein. which plays a huge role as we get into like gut health. Okay. So Bonnie got woke up when this happened. And she was like, okay, I'm gonna make some changes. So number one tip when it comes to gut health, and you don't hear people say this, they talk about carbs and fruits and vegetables, but you want to be getting an adequate amount of protein. That's number one. Okay. Number two is don't just eat more fiber. Make sure you're getting prebiotics. Prebiotics is not just fiber, but it does come from fiber. But prebiotics will help get all the way to the area of your gut that is going to fuel what they call short chain fatty acids, meaning it's going to help with gut lining. Many things are going to improve. Okay. So it's not just about eating more fiber, it's about eating certain fibers. So like onions, if you like onions, that has a prebiotic in it called inulin. If you like garlic, asparagus, leeks, oats, beans, lentils, I mean, I could go on and on. Green bananas, and also resistant starch is another benefit. It kind of falls into that same category of prebiotics. What is resistant starch? Well, that's why if you have a green banana, it's higher in starch and less in sugar. And so there's benefits to that. However, not everybody wants to eat a green banana. So here's a couple tips that you may have heard this. I've seen it on TikTok in different places, that if you take something like potatoes, pasta, rice, and you cook it, let it cool. And once it's fully cooled, before you eat it, you reheat it. And in that process, you'll increase how much resistant starch you get, which is going to benefit the gut in a huge way. And at the same time, for those of you who are looking at your blood sugar, it's going to help with that. Okay, so that's like a win-win. So Bonnie, when I talked to her, she was eating a good amount of vegetables. And so I said, you know what? Maybe we could introduce like some fermentable fibers, which is prebiotics. And she liked the idea. She liked beans. And so that was our goal. Okay. So that's the second tip. Okay. Eat more prebiotics. Then, look at this. Fermented foods. Now, many people go, what's fermented foods? And they go right to kimchi. Well, kimchi is a fermented food, but sauerkraut is also fermented food. Plain yogurt is fermented food, right? Unsweetened. Apple cider vinegar with the mother is fermented food. There's fermented pickles that you can get. There's miso soup if you go to Japanese restaurants. Tempeh. If you guys haven't bought tempeh, you'll find it right there with the tofu. It's nutty. It's great to add into like a stir fry. I buy it. I like the texture. I like the kind of the crunch that it gives me. But fermented foods is one of the best things that you could do. Not buying a probiotic. Buying a probiotic, which you will learn in my article, is one of the worst things you could do if you want to improve gut health. So I want to pause there for a second. Like they say, stick a pin in it, because many of you are taking probiotics and you believe the probiotic is helping you. But I would be willing to bet you that it's doing more damage than good, because of all the studies I've looked at. People who are consuming probiotics, we see a negative impact on this family of bacteria called bifidobacterium. When bifidobacterium is low, then you're weakening your immune system, etc. And all the studies that I've seen, from Stanford to even one that was done by a friend of mine, Dr. Sabine Hazan, taking over-the-counter probiotics is more likely to damage your bifidobacteria than help it. So a probiotic, which most of people who are taking one, they've been told to take one or their friends talked them into it, is not a prebiotic. A prebiotic, I would be a little bit more open to. But a probiotic, save yourself some time. And if you don't want to hear the truth, take a moment, download, read my article. The links are there. The references are there where you can go look at the studies, look into it, and it's going to be an eye-opener. Okay. So don't be mad at the messenger. I'm sharing with you the facts. And some people are taking probiotics, and when they get off the probiotic, their gut actually starts to feel better. But fermented food across the board, on every published paper I've ever seen on gut health, what all of the gurus recommend, they all are good with fermented food. And you don't have to eat a lot of it. So get the article if you want to have a better understanding of that. So we had a great conversation about that. And then she was kind of shocked to hear my opinion about probiotics. And so I had to break it down to her. And probiotics is not your friend. I mean, I'm sorry. But, sometimes the truth hurts. But then again, it shouldn't hurt. Okay. So let's go on to number 4. We're almost there. Number 4. Okay. Polyphenols. Are you interested in lowering inflammation in your body? Okay. Polyphenols are your friend. Polyphenols support good bacteria. Polyphenols help lower inflammation in the body. Polyphenols protect gut lining. Polyphenols, along with omega-3s, is a winning team. So I talk about this product called Balance Oil. I'm not trying to sell you. I'm just telling you the truth. That is a great product. Great product. And it's test-based, meaning you get a test done, you see these inflammation scores, you take the product for a while, you see the inflammation scores get better. What else is there? Now, our goal is to optimize our gut health. And if you truly want to optimize your gut health, increasing your consumption of polyphenols is a win. Now, you may be thinking, well, hell, Robert, what are polyphenols? Polyphenols are natural plant compounds. They support the growth of beneficial bacteria, and they help reduce inflammation. I believe when I went to PubMed, there's over 40,000 published papers on polyphenols. Now, if I'm off on that, it's 40,000 published papers on omega-3s because the other one is 30,000. So let's say I go conservative, 30,000 published papers, but I believe it's 40,000. Okay. Now, where do you get polyphenols? Well, extra virgin olive oil, okay, is rich in polyphenols. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. Blueberries, very rich in polyphenols. Like, make blueberries a part of your lifestyle. One of my dear friends, Mr. Bernardo, he died at 114, right before he turned 115 years old. And I'll never forget, he was telling me, like, his daily regimen, every day he ate. Now, this is a man that I stood talking to, standing up. He didn't go to the restroom one time. His hand didn't shake when he held a glass of water. He's 114 years old. I'm listening to him. He looks great, by the way. I can show you pictures. We'll do that another time. Green tea, cocoa, turmeric, cinnamon. Like a lot of you like to put cinnamon in your coffee. Those little things, I mean, that adds up. Okay, you're getting polyphenols. Oregano. Oregano, make that part of your regular. Okay, it's a concentrated plant compound, and rosemary. So polyphenols are your friend. Okay, so are we ready? And this is all for gut. Here's number 5. Don't test. No, you do test. Don't guess. See, with Bonnie, we were able to do her test. It's called a gut health test. Now, the gut health test is going to save you time and a lot of energy. Like, if someone shared this video with you, that means they're probably working with me. We're a partner, or they know something. And I'm telling you right now, get the gut health test. Now, if you had to only get one test, over the other because there's a balance test and there's a gut health test. I'm going to say start with the balance test because inflammation is king. Okay. If you improve your inflammation scores, then that automatically is helping out the gut. But then the next step up, or maybe you're just like, I got to know my gut, then get the gut health test. And I'm going to show you. Bonnie's very happy she got both tests. It's changed her whole world. She's no longer doing intermittent fasting. Those days are over. At first, she was fighting it because it was one person's opinion over another person's opinion. And she had a couple friends who were doing intermittent fasting, blah, blah, blah. And then the reality is, look at your tests. Okay, look at your tests. All right. So I'm going to show you guys. You ready for this? I mean, this is so powerful. Okay. So here's a snapshot of a test. Now I'm blocking part of that. So let me move my big giant head out the way. Blum, blum, blum. Okay. I don't. I'll go up here. Okay. So on this gut health test, you get some basic numbers. Now I know this may sound foreign, but I'm going to walk you through it with explanation. Okay. This person, we looked at 3 key areas. If you look below me, you see key metabolites measured. And if you look to the right a little bit in that little box, you see low, good, and low. Now, the first thing we look at is she getting enough tryptophan? So remember in the very beginning, I said step number 1, make sure you're getting enough protein. So tryptophan is part of protein. Protein provides tryptophan. Tryptophan is an amino acid. Okay. And look, she's not getting enough. Not my opinion, not your opinion, not anybody's opinion. The gut test reveals this. Now, some of you are like, okay, wait a minute. Are we getting all this through poop? No, we're not. A poop test, a stool test, is what most people are doing when it comes to a gut test. Those are decent. This is the bomb.com. What I'm sharing with you right now is top level and it's way more affordable. Way more. See, when you get a stool test, the stool test, they grab some of your fecal matter when you go number 2. So think of that as the garbage that comes out and they test it. Now, what comes out in the garbage gives them an idea of what is in your large intestine. So they can see what is going on at that moment. Okay. Let me take a moment here. I want to take a real moment. A stool test has some benefits, but it's not this test. A stool test tells you what's going on, what's there at the moment. And it's not like it's going inside of your intestinal tract. It's looking at the garbage, what comes out of your body, which is not really telling you what's going on inside. Let me give you an example. If I take out the garbage today and you want to get an idea of what's going on inside of my house, yeah, you can learn a few things in my garbage. Like there's some apples that he was eating. You can see some wrappers of food that you could tell I bought, right? But it doesn't tell you what's really going on inside of my house. It gives you an idea. That's a stool test. This test tells you what's going on in your blood, because what's taking place in your blood, what shows up in your blood is the result of what's taking place in your body. Great analogy, people. Share with other people. Because if it shows up in the blood, that tells me a whole bunch. And not just the blood, in your red blood cell membrane. We're going into the cell membrane. You can do that with a little at-home test. I'm telling you, man, this is so ahead of everything else that's out there. like in a huge way. Okay. So you can see right there on the test, she's not getting enough tryptophan. So at that point, she was like, okay, I'm going to stop doing intermittent fasting. Wise. And there's a whole bunch of other benefits she's going to get. And then above that, you have this thing called kynurenine or kynurenine. She's good there. That's a signal on if there's inflammation taking place inside the gut. So she doesn't have that. And she eats really clean. She doesn't eat a lot of crap and junk and processed food. So there's no surprise. But then when you look up above that, her endo 3 propionic acid, IPA, is low. Well, I mentioned briefly there's these things called pathways. Tryptophan, there's many pathways, many roads that you can go down when you consume tryptophan. As I mentioned, it helps with serotonin, plays a role with melatonin, plays a role in kynurenine, because kynurenine needs some tryptophan to keep everything balanced. And guess what? IPA, the one that she's low in, needs tryptophan. Well, if you're low in tryptophan, you're probably going to be low in IPA. And some of you are like, well, what is IPA? IPA is the most potent antioxidant produced in your gut. It is very important. Very. You can't eat IPA. You can't take a supplement for IPA. Your gut must produce IPA. And if you don't have an adequate amount of tryptophan, then you're not maximizing gut health. And prebiotics and fermented foods also help contribute toward the production of IPA. Now, some of you are naturopaths, or you're coming across this and you're like, IPA, I never heard about that. I've heard of glutathione. I've heard about this. I heard about that. I'm telling you, we are next level with what we do. And that's not bragging. That's the truth. That's why I tell people, if you're into helping people, then get with us or get with whoever shared this video, because we are game changers. And everybody would want to optimize their gut health. Optimize your gut health. Don't take my word for it. We can do a test. Some of you are battling with high blood pressure. You got other problems. You're feeling bloated, a whole bunch. And there's ways, protocols that are available to help you navigate. Why wait until something bad happens? You know what I mean? Okay, so let me see. All right, this is what the test looks like. The gut health test. And there's a sign of the balance test. All right, I think I did a good job. I feel like I did. I could have went faster. So let me give a shout out to Lynn, caught me live. I don't know if she's still there. Sandy, and what's up, Wendy? Wendy's on Facebook. We got to get you to come over to the other side. Whenever you see me go live, just go to my YouTube channel. I think I'm going to start posting the YouTube channel inside so people can just click on it if they're on Facebook and come over. Let me see. Any questions? I don't see any questions. Let me see. Sandy, what's up? Sandy says, how do you take oregano? Just seasoning on your food? Yes, that's how I do it. It's funny, last night, because I knew I was going to do this video, I made some chicken. Turned out great in my air fryer. And I use every time now I use a little bit of oregano because it doesn't mess up anything. It's always contributing, but it's part of the polyphenol family. Same as this morning when I made my coffee. I made the coffee. I put a little bit of honey in my coffee. And then I put a little bit of cinnamon in there. And I used to do that a long time ago. And I got out of the habit of it, just a little sprinkle, but polyphenols. This afternoon I'll have my tea, polyphenols. I'm gonna have some blueberries with some strawberries in my Greek yogurt, polyphenols. So I'm actually gonna have my lunch today is Greek yogurt. So non-fat Greek yogurt. So we call that a lean protein source. And then I'm putting some blueberries in there, a full cup, and a full cup of strawberries. And I got some honey. Okay, honey also omega-3s, baby. Why did I say omega-3s? Like omega-3s is in my head. Okay. I'm thinking prebiotic. Oh man, I have my omega-3s this morning when I woke up. That's my daily ritual. I don't miss a day. I'm on it. I'm getting the 1-to-1. That's where we're going. So I'm gonna actually test. I'm gonna give it 3 more months, and then I'm gonna go for it. See how close I can get the 1-to-1. Okay. Any questions for me before I say goodbye? Let me look over on Facebook. If you came in late, I recommend you check this out. Watch it, learn it, apply it, win with it. You know, we're losing too many people too soon. And some of these situations could be prevented. Seriously. Okay. All right. Well, happy Wednesday for those of you who caught me live. If you're catching the replay, remember, go to the article. If you go down, you'll see it. Link, just go read it, download it. You can print it. If you like to just hold it in your hand like I do, you can download it onto your phone, onto your tablet. And if you want to contact me for whatever, you got additional questions, my contact information is there. All right. I'm Robert Ferguson. I want to say thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you for commenting. It definitely helps. We are growing. We are on our way. I'm thinking what I'm going to need to do next month is 2 videos a day. If I do 2 videos a day, maybe I got to get to 3 videos a day. I got to figure out a way to bring in more content. So if you guys have ideas for that, here's some of the things that I'm thinking about doing is one, we could do reaction videos where there's a lot of people talking crazy out there about health and nutrition. And so we could watch it together and I can go, hey, I can point out what's really crazy and what's good. Go reaction videos. We can do product reviews, which I like to do, and point out things. I love doing did you know type stuff because people don't know. Like I'm going to do one in my next video, which is tomorrow. So if this is Wednesday, that means Thursday. I'm going to do one on something a lot of people are going to be like, what? Huh? What? And it has to do with oils that you cook with, because you hear people talk about smoke point and they don't know. They're just regurgitating what they think they know. And so I'm going to bring clarity to some of that. I'm also sharing a good amount of that inside of our 8-week fat loss challenge for those of you who are doing that, and you'll learn about that. And we'll take a few extra days to really drill down on that, because I'm a big believer that once you have the real knowledge, the truth, and you believe it, you get a thing called clarity in a big way. And it's clarity that gives a person the confidence, right, to see it through. Like when you know, if you eat this or if you do that, that you're going to get this outcome, then almost everybody would do that. Most people get to a place, especially when it's weight loss, where they're like, I really don't know. I hope it's going to work. Oh man, I'm going to go to that party. I'm going to be the only one not eating what I really want to eat. And they think about what they got to give up or go through in order to get that outcome. And so then people get discouraged and they don't do it. But if it was promised to you, right? If you know with conviction, then that's a different beast. Yeah, that's different. When you have clarity and conviction, trust me, you everything is different. You go at it with some real confidence. So that's why I want to take a moment and just get rid of all this crazy noise around what oils to cook with, right? Because you got, Robert Kennedy's telling everybody to cook in beef tallow, which I think is great compared to, but if you're looking at results, it's not about compared to, right? So we can go, seed oils aren't good for you, so use beef tallow. Well, okay. Or use ghee instead of that. Okay. But what is my goal? Like, why am I even thinking about what oil I cook with? Do I have a goal in mind? Some of you may be to lose some weight, so it's important what you cook your food in. And some of you actually want to be healthy, and you want to reduce the risk of cancer and a whole bunch of negatives. Then what I'm talking about today and what I'm talking about then is you're gonna get it. It's gonna make sense to you, right? Because you care. Some people don't care, and we go through stages in life, and I get that. But my audience, I'm speaking to people who care. It actually matters, and they want the most accurate information possible. That's my audience. All right. Thank you for letting me have that little short vent, and I'll see you guys. When will I see you? I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, God bless.
In a world of dice, there's a new way to see. No more counting calories, just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with